Hi, everybody. Gene here. Welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, where every single week we answer the most common and uncommon questions about tapping and EFT so you can move past the basic recipe, mastering the art of delivery. You will learn how to find root causes faster, clear issues quicker, and have longer lasting results. Last week, I launched, and I'm not sure if you are aware of this or not, something I'm calling the Tapping Success Academy. And that is a project that I have worked on for the last 6 months. I have invested over 300 hours of my own time into the project, in addition to a bunch of other people helping me out. And basically what it is it is an opportunity for you to learn from some of the brightest minds in tapping and transformation so that you can be more successful with your tapping. And I don't mean the round of tapping is successful, but the way that you do tapping so it shows up in your daily life and in your world. It is great for us to be able to use tapping to feel better in a moment. Like first aid tapping, an emotional response to tapping, is one of the beautiful things about tapping. But we can get so much more out of it, that we can use tapping to transform the way we show up in our relationships, the way we show up professionally, the way we take action, and in the health that we have in our lives. And so I've gathered 17 just really amazing people. There's over 20 hours of training, instruction, a workbook, a tapping journal, 16 tapping experiences that you can tap along to. It is one of the best things that I have ever created as far as a tapping resource go. And there have been multiple occasions where it has brought me to tears as I have edited and thought about the amazing conversations in the masterclasses that I have been tapping for a really long time. And this podcast is turning 12 years old next month. And I learned so much in the way that I approach tapping from these conversations. I would love for you to have the exact same transformation. All you need to do is go to tappingsuccessacademy.com. That's tappingsuccessacademy.com. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me, Gene, Gene, at tappingqa.com, and enjoy today's show. This is Gene Montrestelli, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 498, originally aired February 10th, 2021. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you are listening to this. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Today, we are going to talk about and tap for getting past old failures that are hanging over our head. Before we do that, I just wanted to remind you we have a free 10-part guide on how you can use tapping to eliminate self-sabotage. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com, click on the big blue button. If you happen to be on the website right now, up in the right-hand corner at the top of the right-hand column, you'll see a big blue button. Click on that, and you can get that amazing resource absolutely free, so you can have some simple tools and techniques so you can use tapping to take action more often. So one of my just really favorite things in my life professionally right now is the Art of Delivery monthly classes that I have been teaching. And basically what happens is every single month, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and Sunday afternoon at 12 noon Eastern, so that people from all over the world can join with us. Once a month, I am teaching how to use tapping for a particular topic. And we get the opportunity where I do some instructions, I teach a tool, like I create a step-by-step process for every single lesson. Everybody gets a chance to do a demo with me. They go into small groups. They come back. We do question and answer. We do lots of tapping. And so last night was the Tuesday night class for the month of February. And it was really a lot of fun. We spent 2 hours on Zoom talking and teaching and laughing and just doing a lot of really great tapping. And the February curriculum is on clearing clutter. And so I taught 4 different techniques that I use to figure out what is the emotional resistance behind clearing the clutter. And if you are interested in joining us for the February class, which we're doing again this Sunday, or any future classes, all you need to do is go to tappingartofdelivery.com and you'll get more information on that. As we were after we did the teaching and the folks went into small group, when they came back, they were sharing their experiences of what they learned about why they were not clearing up the clutter. And one of our participants last night, in this really thoughtful, reflective way, came to the realization that there were so many failed projects that were littering her house. Some of them were 20 years old. And if she cleaned them up, it was admitting defeat that she actually didn't get that thing done. And so as long as it was still there, there was still hope. And as we had a conversation about some of these things, it was clear that these projects no longer served her, that she had moved on. And so we did some really lovely tapping and giving herself permission to move on and get past these things. But it reminded me of the fact that there are times in our past where we have failed. Either we've made mistakes or we made a plan and we didn't execute it. We didn't live up to our expectations. We executed and it didn't work out as well as we'd like. And we don't like dwelling on those things. Well, I don't know about you. I don't like dwelling on my failures. I don't like reveling in the things that have gone wrong in my past. And so it's really easy to take those things and to put them aside, not process them, not live through them, not let them go, but like the clutter of these unfinished projects that one of my students was talking about last night, is they are stuck inside of us, that we have some emotional tie to them. My friend Catherine Poole used to talk about this idea that there are these things that we have not let go, and we have these balls of yarn that are energy. And we don't let something go. We unravel all of this yarn that is tying to this thing that is a long way away. So not only are we depleted because we're stretched out over this great distance with all of this energy that is normally inside of us, outside of us, but it's holding us back almost like this giant anchor. And so I would be willing to bet that there are some failures in your life, some mistakes, some things that did not work out the way that you wanted them to, because maybe the word failure feels too harsh and too big, that are anchors, that are things that are holding you back because you have not acknowledged them, processed them, worked through them. And by giving yourself permission to be at peace with the fact that I don't need to come back to these things. It didn't work out the way that I want, but being in this moment is way more important than being tied to that past moment. And in releasing and letting go of these things, it's going to be so much easier and so much gentler for you to move forward. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just spend a few moments, and literally just a few moments, giving ourselves permission to release and let go of these things that we have been holding on to that are holding on to us. So tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath for me. And just move from tapping point to tapping point, repeating after me. I recognize the fact that I have failed. Not that I've failed at everything, but I have failures in my past. Things that I committed to and did not complete. Things that I did but did not give them the attention they required. Or things that I did that did not live up to their expectations. And this is because I am human. And because I am human, I am imperfect. And these failures are still rattling around inside of me. I have not processed them all. And they have become an emotional anchor. They are holding me down from moving forward. Because I don't want to face failure like this again. And by staying stuck here, it prevents me from moving forward. Which could involve even more failure. Which could be even more treacherous. I recognize the fact that I don't need to stay stuck in the past. I recognize the fact that I don't have to keep relitigating these failures. I recognize the fact that I don't have to stay stuck inside of this. I give myself permission to release and let go. Of any of the emotional burden that I'm still carrying from these failures. Moving on does not mean I am forgetting the lessons. Moving on does not mean that I'm not taking responsibility for my past choices. Moving on does not mean that I'm simply over it. But instead, I give myself permission to process. I give myself permission to heal. I give myself permission to be in this moment. Learning from the past. Without staying stuck in that past. Learning from my experiences without staying stuck in those experiences. It is okay for me to move on. Those past memories do not serve me. By staying stuck to me. I give myself permission to be easy with myself. I give myself permission to be gentle with myself. Letting go of these past failures without having to relive the past failures. Nice deep breath. And I'm guessing as we tapped through this, specific memories came up. And one of two things happens when specific memories like this come up. One is they're coming up and they're pointing to something that we need to be doing some work on. The other is they're coming up as they're being released. So it's kind of like a soap bubble that is floating by, and as it pops, we see the memory that is stuck inside of it, but it's something that is being let go. And so as those memories came up, re-jot them down and just rethink of those experiences. If there's no emotional charge to them or it's hard to remember the details, then awesome. They were those little soap bubbles and were popped and released and were let go. If you think of them and there is some emotional charge to them, awesome. Not that it's awesome that there's emotional charge, but it's something that you can lean into, that you can create a little transformation for yourself inside of. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions about that, would like to share your experience, I'd love to hear from you. I can always be reached Gene, Gene, at tappingqna.com, or you can click on the contact link on the website. Or if you're listening to the episode in our free app that you can find in both the Android and Apple app stores, just search Tapping Q&A. You can hit the contact button inside of it. If you know someone in your life who could use a resource like this, please pass it along. Don't spam your inbox and send it to everybody in the world. But might know one or two people who are really being burdened by a past that they're still carrying around. Sharing with them might make them feel just a tad better. Even if they don't even listen to the audio, you sending them a note saying, hey, I know how hard it is for you to carry this around. Know that I'm there with you. That'll make their day brighter. And ultimately, sharing a resource, that's all we're trying to do, is make someone's day brighter, because if their day is brighter, it lifts the burden for all of us. Again, if you have questions or comments, reach out to me, Gene, Gene, at tappingqna.com. You can subscribe to the podcast everywhere you get audio. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Pandora, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music. Click subscribe, click follow, click whatever button is there. Turn on the notifications so that when a new episode comes out, you do not miss it. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Montrestelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Montrestelli Tapping Q&A. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Montrestelli and Tapping Q&A.